Let's start with the defending champions. Inter are mentally fragile and their defense is shambolic. I mean, penalty at the end of the game, 2-2 against Genoa? Now over to the other side of Milan. It's basically Pioli 2.0, or what does everyone say? Gianpaolo 2.0. This team is embarrassing. They are trash. No Europe for them. What is going on? Fiorentina, relegation bound. They're trash. They're absolutely trash. Speaking of relegation, fight Napoli 3-0 loss. They might get relegated this year. Hello, Serie B. Lazio, big win, 3-1. Scudetto, baby. Now as for Venezia, breaking news. Apparently Drake wants to get his money back because this team is crap. Atalanta, Scudetto, anyone? Hey, hey. Ciao ragazzi. Matchday 1 over and done with. What do we think of all the teams that have played now that all the games have come and gone? It is, yeah, we're going to have our takes today. We're going to do a little overreaction on how some of these teams are, and then give our actual honest opinion on how things are going thus far. Let's start with the defending champions. Inter are mentally fragile and their defense is shambolic. I mean, penalty at the end of the game, 2-2 against Genoa? Okay, overreaction. Inter's attack is actually, wow. They scored a bunch of goals in the game. They got canceled out. It's just slight offsides. This attack is still going to be nasty this year. And adding Taremi and a bunch of other pieces that they added, they're not going to lose a step. They're still going to be the team to beat this season. They'll figure it out. They'll sort it out. Yes, they gave up 2 goals against Genoa. Full credit to Genoa, but they'll be okay. Let's not overreact there. But yeah, Inter got to do better. But it's opening weekday. Can't really take too much stock while the Mercato is still open. You probably need about 10 games or so to really figure out where these teams are at the moment. But yeah, Inter, not the result they actually preferred in opening week. As for Genoa, no Retegui, no Gudmundsson. Who needs them? They're going to make Champions League. Yes, Genoa are going to make Champions League without them. Okay, real talk. Genoa will improve upon last season. Really great first season in Serie A, back in Serie A with under Gilardino. What he's doing is really amazing work. I think they'll improve. No Retegui, no Gudmundsson. Okay, I think he got the right pieces there. The philosophy is fantastic. The way they employ the tactics, the team responds well, and they went toe-to-toe with Inter. They look very good. Inter were susceptible on the counterattacks. Genoa took advantage of it, got a couple goals. They're going to be paying the butts for everybody this season, and so maybe a mid-table finish for Genoa this season. We'll see, but a great opening start to the Campionato for Genoa, but impressive. Not so much European games, but hey, mid-table, that's a good goal to go for. Now over to the other side of Milan. It's basically Pioli 2.0, or what does everyone say? Gianpaolo 2.0. This team is embarrassing. They are trash. No Europe for them. What is going on? What is going on, actually, is that it takes time. A new manager, new system. There was moments of brilliance in this game. What we're going to see from this team is that, doesn't seem like it yet, but defensively they're going to be a little more stout. And then play on the counterattack, be much more faster in that regard. Leao, you already got glimpses of him in open field, at full pace. My goodness, every team in the world is going to be freaking out when they see Leao come down with the ball. He should have scored a goal on his breakaway there, but I digress. Milan will sort it out just like Inter. A lot of struggles to beginning. Good sign for Milan that they went down 2-0 and stuck with it and got the draw. We saw the same kind of gumption under Pioli. It's continuing on with Fonseca. Now Fonseca just has to figure out the pieces he wants. Obviously having Fofana now in the lineup, tweaking some things here and there. Maybe Morata should start going forward, but I'm not worried about Milan. They will be up there challenging with the Inters of the league. So not gonna be not taking too much stock from this result. 2-2, not great. But yeah, it is what it is. Speaking of what is, it is what it is. Vanoli and Torino, this team is good. They're probably going to dominate Turin this year. Sorry, Juventini. This Torino team's legit, and they're gonna be playing for maybe Champions League, definitely Europa League. Okay, let's slow back down a little bit. No, they're not gonna be that good. They're gonna be okay. I still think it's a step back this season. Vanoli, great start to the season. They caught a Milan who was still have question marks all the way around. Defense is really poor. They had a lot of starters missing in the game. So great way to start the game. It looked very organized under Vanoli. Another positive to take away from Torino is their attack looks like it's going to be something very difficult to stop. Zapata, again, another year in the system. One new system, another year in Torino. Should do him wonders. He's got some playmakers around him to help feed him the ball. He should get a lot of goals this year. But I'm still questioning about Torino, but it's still early. Good result to start the season. Impressive for Vanoli in his debut. Speaking of debuts, Parma make their re-debut into Serie A. Get the first goal of the season for the entire league. Clearly, they're going to make Europe this season. That's an amazing way to start the season, right? No, wrong. This is a lot of positives to take away against the match against Fiorentina. I thought they started out very well. Used that home crowd to their advantage. This is the team still that I think is on the bubble of the relegation. I think they'll have enough in them. If they get results like this, they play like this, they are going to be very difficult to play against this year. But yeah, I don't know if Fiorentina are ready. They got a new manager there, new system there, some new pieces, and so a great time to catch them start of the season. But yeah, okay start for Parma to get the season going. A draw, can't be disappointed with that. As for their opponent, Fiorentina, relegation bound. They're trash. They're absolutely trash. No, not so much. It was they're still getting used to life under Palladino. New system, very good manager there. I think they'll be very fine. Obviously, adding the likes of Colpani and some of the other moves that they're making. Yeah, they're gonna really get rid of Nico Gonzalez. It kind of makes sense because you obviously have Colpani there on the right. I think this is a good team. There's still some good pieces there from last year. They got rid of some dead weight. They're going to be challenging. They got David De Gea in goal, right? You got some competency back there. If he's not starting, at least he can help get the goalkeepers, in the right mindset before a game. So they will figure it out, much like Inter in Milan. They will sort things out, but they got to do better. They really got to do better. A team that possesses as much as they do, they're going to get better quality chances on goal. That was a problem last year. They did well in the tournaments. Let's see how Palladino does this time with this Fiorentina squad. But yeah, okay start. A draw could be worse, right? Now, Empoli, Diversa is the manager there. They get a draw against a tough team like Monza. Clearly, this team is mid-table bound. The sky's the limit with them. Maybe that's pushing it. Let's slow our roll on Empoli, okay? It is Roberto Diversa, of course, that is managing them. So I think a good result. Good result to get a draw against a good team, Monza. But they're going to need all the points they can get this year. I fear that they're going to be towards the bottom. But getting results like this will help in that effort. Yes, it's only 1 point, but it's maybe a point that some other teams that are around them in the relegation don't get against Monza. So it's a good start for them. I feel like they need a lot more pieces. They need their youngsters to really play well this year for them to have a chance at survival. And their manager has to do better than he's done the last couple of years. So can it happen? I don't know. So I'm going to slow my roll a little bit here on Empoli. They're not going to quite make mid-table. Not even close. Now, on the other side, their opponent, Monza. Nesta, and he's way over his head. No Colpani, no Palladino. Big problem for Monza. No, it's really not. It's really not. Let's calm down if you're a Monza fan. This team is still adjusting under a new manager. And we're going to say this a lot because, what was it, 75% of the league is new managers or something crazy? Like, it's a ridiculous set. I've never seen so many new managers in new places as we have this season. So you're going to have a lot of early adjustments. This is the time of year for those teams that do have a returning manager to kind of take advantage of that. Sorry, Inter, you didn't do that, but you played another team that had a returning manager. I digress. Monza will figure it out. They have a really good team, a lot of good pieces there. Good youngsters and veterans. Monza will be fine. I think they will be continuing on the progression that they've been. look for them to be a mid-table team. Can they challenge for Europe? It depends on how good Nesta can get his team acclimated to his style of play and what he wants to do. Really great season at Reggio Emilia last year. Can he duplicate that with Monza? We'll see. They got the pieces. I'm okay with Monza, but yeah, early draw to Empoli, not too surprising considering, you know, it's the first game of the season under the new manager. So, okay. Let's look at some of the Roman clubs here. Well, first let's start with Lazio. Big win, 3-1. Scudetto, baby! Okay, let's slow her roll there, right? They only beat the worst team in the league in Venezia. Venezia will finish bottom of the table. Gave up the first goal within a couple minutes of the start of the game. Nice goal, by the way. So let's calma on Lazio. They'll be okay. I think a lot of returning players. I think they'll do okay this year. They will be challenging for Europe, no doubt about it. And the thought of having Dia up there with Castellanos and Zaccagni and some of the other playmakers that they have at Lazio, it could be really, really successful there. I am looking forward to, because Dia is one of our favorites here at Serie A Sit Down. I think he will complement the players that they have there already. He will get boatloads of goal there if they put him in the right situation. And I'm talking double-digit goals, 12 to 15 goals if they put him in the right positions. Him and Castellanos, two strikers there, maybe there. We'll see. The formation will have to change. But we'll see what Baroni can do. I like Lazio, though. Slower roll in Scudetto, but good win to start off the season. Obviously, frankly, they should beat the worst team in the league. But you never know when you start the season off as our team's ready. But great win for Lazio there to get the season off right on a good foot. Now, as for Venezia, breaking news. Apparently, Drake wants to get his money back because this team is crap. No, he's not asking for his money back. But outside of really, maybe the owners, if you want to say that, but certainly the kits, certainly the city, outside of that, there's really not much to like about Venezia. This team, they will finish last, but they'll make it difficult, I think. It won't be as easy. It won't be a team that you can just mark off on the list. You're going to have to show up to the team. Lazio clearly took them seriously, and it paid off to their advantage. They're going to make games difficult for them. You saw they scored the first goal of the game against Lazio. They will scalp some teams. They'll take some points off of people, but yeah, there's not enough in the tank. Mercato's still young. We still got a couple days left, but they need a lot of help. They need a lot of help, and I don't know if that's enough to keep them in the league for one more year. Now, again, the other side of Roma, they played Cagliari at Cagliari. Razvan Marin, best midfielder in the league. He's going to lead Cagliari to Europe. It's inevitable. Okay, maybe not inevitable. Razvan Marin, I think, will have a breakout year. This guy has been good and getting better every year. Took a little step back last year. I think he will get an opportunity to really lead this midfield. Looked really amazing in the first game. Yeah, I think, you know, they can go far with him, but only so far. And by only so far, I mean only so far past relegation. They're gonna be difficult. They won at home. Oh, they won at home. Sorry, Roma. They drew at home, but they're tough. Cagliari is one of the toughest places to play, to go there. It's been like that historically for them. And a team that goes there, to go down to Sardinia, it is a difficult game to play. And it proved once again for Roma. Cagliari is going to be tough at home. The trick for Cagliari is, can they reproduce that magic on the road? That's where they've struggled to get points. They need to be a little bit more consistent on the road and have a better chance of not being in the relegation fight this year. I think they will be, but I think they'll be on the positive side of the relegation fight. But there's a lot to like from Cagliari. Youngsters like Razvan Marin, I guess he's still a youngster, right? But Odopo and a bunch of other players that they have on their team. This team has some potential. Can they figure it out defensively is a question mark. I don't know. But I'm liking what I'm seeing already. Home cooking's still the thing for them. Let's build it off and continue that into the road. Maybe they'll have a better season, less chance of a heart attack. But we'll see what Davide Nicola can or can't do. As for Roma, they play like this, they're not going to get into Europe. I want to say that's a big change, but no, it's really like many of us are high on Roma prior to the news this week that Dybala's not going to be there more than likely. Yeah, they will be in Europe. They will be in Europe, so let's calm down there. Will they be in Champions League, or will it be one of the Conference League or Europa League? To be determined. No Dybala makes it more difficult. But they got some good pieces there, I think. I'm high on Dovbyk. I think he's going to be, again, boatloads of goal this year. There were flashes of brilliance in this game. De Rossi and his team have to be a lot better going forward. Yes, Cagliari is a difficult place to play. I don't care. You want to be one of the best teams in the league, you want to challenge for Champions League spot, you have to do well no matter where you play. There are tons of difficult places to play in this league. Find a way to get results. That's what Romans have to do. I'm okay with Roma. Slow start to the season. They'll figure it out. Some pieces they got to integrate into the team better. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. Let's see how the rest of Mercato pans out, and then can they get back on the front foot? Because they ended the season last year very well under De Rossi. I expect them to continue the progression. I do expect them to challenge for Champions League this year. If not, maybe a little higher. We'll see how they can do this. Not having Dybala is going to hurt. Can they replace him? We'll see. But yeah, if you're Romanisti, don't worry. Don't worry. Moving on to Monday's games. Lecce hosting Atalanta. Let's start with Lecce. Might be relegation bound already. Are they relegated already? I mean, that's how bad they played. My goodness. No, Lecce are not going to be relegated this year, though they keep playing like that. Or if they keep playing Atalanta the rest of the year, yeah, they're going to be relegated. But I think they'll be okay. They started out well, making it tough for Atalanta at the start of the game. Going to Lecce, we talked about Cagliari being difficult to play at. Going to Lecce is also difficult. They started out the game well. Unfortunately, it is just a little bit too disorganized. Looked very sloppy. Gave away a lot of balls. Atalanta made them pay for it. It's one of the teams you cannot afford to do that against. So I think Lecce will be fine. A tough opponent to play to start opening game of the season. But yeah, I'm not too worried about them. Yeah, it's a terrible result to start it off, especially at home, because that's typically they're better at home. But it's okay. Relax. Relax. We got the UK Lecce supporters. Hey, boys, relax. It's okay. Long season. Get the points off the teams around you. You'll be fine. Now, speaking of fine, Atalanta, Scudetto? Anyone? Hey? Hey? I don't know. 4-0 at Lecce. Okay, let's relax. Relax. Maybe not Scudetto, but you gotta love what Atalanta are cooking, Gasperini, man. They're doing some wonderful thing there. They are running away with this Mercato. By far the best team so far in this Mercato with the signings that they have. And they're not done. They might get Bellanova. Who else? They might get a couple other players here. So, wow, amazing work by Atalanta. Who would have thought that they would go to Lecce, and their two new players, Retegui and Brescianini, both getting braces in this game. They could have had more goals in this game. Wait till they start getting acclimated with one another. You can see after you're watching the game, Retegui doesn't quite know his position just yet with how he's going to be under Gasperini. Brescianini looked fantastic. But yeah, this team has a lot of pieces. It's really deep. I like what I see from here now. Very similar to Inter. They can be susceptible to the counterattack, and they have to watch that because Lecce had their best opportunities on the counterattacks as Genoa did against Inter. So the defense for both those teams, both blue and black teams, you're gonna have to watch them. They're gonna figure it out. But you know, you gotta say Atalanta. You know, definitely they're a team that's challenging for a European spot. But if they play like this, it's possible. Top 4, maybe higher. It's not that crazy to think. We'll see. It's still too early to say, but I like this team a lot. I love what they're doing. Gasperini is cooking right now. Best run team in Europe, maybe the world. And so, man, keep an eye out Atalanta this year. Consistency is key with them. We've said this many, many times. Consistency, can they do it? They did it on the road, though. That's fantastic. Let's see if they can continue it for the remainder of the season. But man, ooh, they look good. They look good. Speaking of looking good, Juventus hosting Como. Juventus, Thiago Motta had some haters around saying they may not do so well under him. Shut me up completely. This team is going to win the Scudetto. Okay. Maybe not. But impressive result by Thiago Motta in his opening game. Tim Weah, goal and assist, goal of the week candidate there. And then Bangula had 2 goals in the game as well, right? A great game for him. The new pieces look great. Kepran Taram looked good. I mean, all the pieces, the youngsters, the veterans they had on the team, it works so well together. Juve looked fantastic. Beautiful passing around. I'm not going to say they're Scudetto contenders just yet. I think you have to watch out for this. I'm not totally convinced on Thiago Motta. After one game, very impressive. I still think this team is a little mediocre, but we'll see. I think it's going to be very much the same as what we had under Allegri, though. But for game 1, didn't look like it. It looked like more smoother. Got the youngsters involved. Yildiz is going to have a fantastic year. Looked great in the number 10 kit. Dusan Vlahovic hitting posts like he did last year. Not getting the goals, but I think he'll be fine. Cambiaso on the right. They got so many players there, and you love Thiago Motta saying those who deserve to be on the pitch, who do really great in practice, are the ones who are going to get the start time. He owned up to it the first game. You love everything you see from Juventus thus far, so kudos to them. Let's see how it continues. I want to continue watching this. If we see 10 more games of this in a row, I might be easily convinced over. But as of right now, I'm going to slow my roll. But this team is certainly going to be a Champions League contender, no doubt about it. Impressive game there. Speaking of the team that is beat, Como, arrivederci, and addio. They're going to be relegated this year. No. They're not going to be relegated. There's actually a lot to like from Como. I thought that they started out very well. First 10, 20 minutes of the game, they look like the experienced Serie A team. It made Juventus look like the newly promoted team. They were dominating the game, doing everything they wanted. They weren't getting the shots quite there. They didn't really test Di Gregorio, but they looked good in the first 10 minutes. And then, obviously you get a goal against. And as the game went on, Tim Weah scored a fantastic goal in stoppage time. That kind of killed the game there. I think Como was in it for a while. They need to do better on the offensive end. Cutrone and Belotti need to do more. The two attackers there as a combination. They have to do more, though, and the midfielders around them have to do better, but they got some nice pieces there. It's hard not to like Como. I think Como might challenge for mid-table. That's how much I like them. But this was a tough game to go to Juventus and then get battered like they did. Luckily for them, Juventus kind of took the foot off the gas after halftime, after Tim Weah came off. But Como, don't be too disheartened. I think you started out well. Things didn't go your way. I think they'll be fine. I honestly do. The two games I skipped over. First, Bologna, Udinese. Bologna at home. Similar to Fiorentina, new manager, a good manager there. They're going to get time to get adjusted. They lost some key pieces in that team. How will they retool and get back? I think it's going to be a difficult year for Bologna. They got a decent result, but it's against a team that I expect to be in the relegation fight. And Udinese, so yeah, they did well to tie the game up, but it's gonna be we'll see. They got Champions League this year, got a lot of big fixtures, a lot of congested fixtures this year. How will they cope? I don't know, but it's safe to say they got a lot on their hands this year. Let's see. I'm not gonna say that they're going to Europe. I'm not saying they're gonna get relegated. I think mid-table for them. I think they're taking a step back. It's going to be hard not to, but there's enough talent on this team to keep them in the European conversation. Now, Udinese, on the other hand, great way to start the game, get the early lead. They're losing Samardzic. That's a huge piece of the puzzle for that team. He literally carried them to survival last year. Him gone now. There's a reason why. That's why I put them in my relegation spots for our predictions, because they can't play well together. There's a lot of good talent there, but they don't play as collectively as a team. I'm not really high on the manager, Runčić, but we'll see. I've been wrong before. They played a tough game against Bologna, got a result. If Bologna figures things out, they're going to be a tough team to play, and so it's a great way to get points off early. Maybe the other teams in the relegation fight won't get those points off Bologna. We'll see. So a draw to start the season. Excellent result by them. But Udinese is they're gonna be in the fight for this season. Lastly, the elephant in the room, Hellas Verona against Napoli. First, Hellas. They look like they're a European contending team, don't they? Okay, let's slow our roll. Hellas, they're gonna be okay, and by okay I mean not okay, because ultimately they're gonna be in the relegation fight. But this is excellent 3 points to take off early in the season, because once Napoli get their stuff figured out, they have to get it figured out. Not many teams that are in the relegation fight are going to get any points off of Napoli, let alone 3. So winning 3-0, great way for some of the new players. Livramento getting that opening goal, and then he comes off, his sub comes in and scores a goal as well. 3-0, great result there. So love seeing it. But everyone's talking about Hellas right now. Maybe more so Napoli than Hellas. But great 3 points for them. They're going to need it down the stretch because they will be in the relegation fight this year. Speaking of relegation fight, Napoli, 3-0 loss. They might get relegated this year. Hello, Serie B. No, maybe that's a stretch, right? Maybe that's a stretch, but man, what is going on, Mamma Mia? It's we saw this coming. Conte, he tends to blow his lid, but it's usually not the first game of the season or before the first game of the season. There was a press conference before the game, and he kind of blurted out all that negativity, and it fed off to the team. The team played like he was talking about. That negativity just oozed through the team. They played like they didn't give a shit in the world. Hellas was a completely better team than them. They fully deserved that win. 3-0 loss. That's embarrassing. The first goal, yeah, I mean, could have been defended better, but they just didn't go for the 50-50 balls. They just look shit. They look shit. Not much else to say. Conte looks out of his element. The whole team looks out of his element. The decision to not play Osimhen looks stupid at the moment. Osimhen sitting down, that looks stupid as well. I mean, just this is a shit show. This is a dumpster fire. I think they'll be okay if he doesn't get fired. Conte, that is. I mean, you get 5-6 games of this, I think he's gone. Right? I think he's being fired. We saw Rudy Garcia suffer that fate last year. But they should figure it out. Conte had some better words after the match. He took the blame because he shouldn't be coming out before the game and spewing negativity because it seeped out to the team. So he said good things after the game, trying to tell his players that they need to be held themselves accountable as well, take responsibility. There's so much talent on this team. They cannot. How can they not be challenging for Europe this year? We'll see. I mean, maybe if Conte and the team get their stuff together, if they get the pieces that they want, obviously David Neres coming in now is going to help. They're losing Bellanova to Atalanta, but this team can contend for Champions League. They just got to get their shit together and get it out of their own way. They're the ones in their own way at the moment. I think they have a better season last year. I think they'll be fine. Could be Napoli's famous last words or my famous last words, but man, they look like a relegation team, not Hellas in that first game. So embarrassing stuff there for Napoli. What are your thoughts after match day 1? These are my overreactions. Tell me yours. Yeah, long way to go. Mercato is still about 10 days left in the Mercato, 10, 11 days. We won't get a really good sense of how these teams are until about 10 games in. So, yeah, we got some interesting thoughts, but I'm nowhere near deciding on this is what makes this, like this Napoli team isn't the Napoli team. This Juventus team isn't the best team in the league. I'm not there yet, but good, interesting way to start the season. A lot of draws. Only the last couple of match days we saw some wins. I think there's like 3 wins so far in the first week. So let's see. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And Ragazzi podcast coming up soon, probably after Labor Day. We will let you know. Check it out on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We'll let you know when it comes. All right. We'll catch you guys soon. Great first week. Let's keep it going. Get it better. All right. Ciao, ragazzi.